First contact gone wrong. The vast expanse of space stretched out before the UES horizon, humanity's first deep space exploration vessel. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the star-filled viewscreen with a mix of excitement and apprehension. After years of preparation and technological breakthroughs, humanity had finally ventured beyond their solar system. "Captain, we're picking up an anomalous reading," reported Lieutenant Raj Patel from his station. His fingers danced across the holographic interface, bringing up a detailed scan. "It appears to be an artificial structure." Chen's heart raced. "An alien artifact." "No, ma'am," Patel replied, his voice trembling slightly. "It's moving. I think it's a ship." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity's first encounter with an alien civilization was about to begin. "Open a channel on all frequencies," Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Ship Horizon. We come in peace and wish to establish friendly contact." For several tense moments, there was no response. Then suddenly, a burst of static filled the bridge, resolving into a series of clicks and whistles. The ship's AI worked furiously to translate the alien language. "Greetings, Earth vessel," came a stilted, synthesized voice. "We are the Zartharans. Your presence is unexpected." Chen exhaled slowly, relief washing over her. "We're pleased to make your acquaintance, Zartharans. We propose a face-to-face meeting to establish diplomatic relations." After a brief pause, the Zartharan ship agreed. Within hours, Chen found herself leading a small delegation onto the alien vessel. The Zartharans were tall, insectoid creatures with iridescent exoskeletons and compound eyes. Despite their alien appearance, their body language seemed to convey curiosity rather than hostility. The Zartharan leader, introduced as High Commander Zixkar, greeted them in the docking bay. "Welcome, humans," it clicked, the words translated by the portable devices each human carried. "We are intrigued by your presence so far from your home system." Chen smiled, hoping the expression translated across species. "We're explorers, High Commander. We seek to learn about the universe and establish peaceful relations with other civilizations." The meeting progressed well at first. Both sides shared information about their cultures and technologies, finding common ground in their mutual love of scientific discovery. However, as the humans explained their plans for further space exploration and potential colonization, the Zartharans grew noticeably agitated. "You plan to spread throughout the galaxy?" Zixkar asked, its antennae twitching rapidly. Chen nodded. "We hope to, yes. We believe there's room enough for all species to coexist peacefully." A series of rapid clicks passed between the Zartharans before Zixkar responded. "Our scientists have studied your physiology. You are not built for prolonged space travel. We estimate your species won't survive beyond 7 Earth years in deep space." The statement hit Chen like a physical blow. I'm not sure I understand. We've prepared extensively for." "Your bodies are too fragile," interrupted a Zartharan scientist. "The radiation, the microgravity, the psychological toll. You will break down. It is simple biology." Chen felt her face flush with anger and embarrassment. "With all due respect, I think you're underestimating us. Humans are incredibly adaptable." The Zartharans made a sound that might have been laughter. "Adaptable? You've barely left your own planet. The galaxy is no place for children stumbling into the unknown." The atmosphere in the room grew tense. Lieutenant Patel, sensing the shift, subtly moved his hand closer to his sidearm. "We appreciate your concern," Chen said carefully, "but we're committed to our mission of exploration and peaceful expansion." Zixkar's compound eyes seemed to narrow. "Expansion? So you admit you seek to encroach on territories that do not belong to you?" "That's not what Chen began, but she was cut off by a sudden alarm blaring through the Zartharan ship. "Deception," Zixkar screeched. "You distract us while your ship prepares to attack." Chen's eyes widened in shock. No, there must be some mistake. But it was too late. Zartharan guards surged forward, weapons raised. In the chaos that followed, Chen and her team fought desperately to retreat to their shuttle. Patel managed to create a diversion with a flashbang from his utility belt, giving them just enough time to escape. As the human shuttle raced back to the horizon, plasma bolts from the Zartharan ship streaked past them. Chen's mind raced, trying to understand how the situation had deteriorated so quickly. "Get us out of here," she shouted as they boarded the horizon. The ship's engines roared to life, narrowly avoiding the increasingly accurate Zartharan fire. As the horizon jumped to faster-than-light travel, leaving the Zartharans behind, Chen slumped in her captain's chair. Their first contact had been a disaster. Worse, the alien's dismissive prediction echoed in her mind. Humans wouldn't survive 7 years in space. Looking around at her shaken but determined crew, Chen set her jaw. "They think we can't handle deep space. They think we'll break down and fail." She stood, addressing the entire bridge. "Well, I say we prove them wrong. Humanity has faced doubters and overcame challenges throughout our entire history. This is no different." The crew straightened, drawing strength from their captain's words. "Set a course for the nearest star system," Chen ordered. "We got work to do, and a galaxy to explore. The Zartharans, and anyone else who underestimates humanity, are in for a big surprise." As the horizon streaked through the cosmos, Chen couldn't help but smile grimly. The Zartharans had made a crucial mistake. They had challenged humanity. And if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was rising to a challenge. The adventure was just beginning, and humanity was determined to not just survive, but thrive among the stars. Adaptation and innovation. The UES horizon drifted silently through the vast emptiness of space, its gleaming hull a testament to human engineering. Inside, the ship buzzed with activity as the crew worked tirelessly to adapt to the challenges of deep space exploration. Captain Sarah Chen stood in the hydroponics bay, marveling at the lush greenery that now filled the once sterile chamber. Dr. Amelia Rodriguez, the ship's lead botanist, approached with a proud smile. "Captain, our latest algae strain has increased oxygen production by 30%, Rodriguez reported, gesturing to a tank of vibrant blue-green organisms. "We're not just surviving out here, we're thriving." Chen nodded approvingly. "Excellent work, Doctor. Any progress on the radiation-resistant crops?" "Yes, actually. We've successfully modified several staple crops to withstand higher levels of cosmic radiation. Our food supplies are more secure than ever." As they discussed further improvements, Chen couldn't help but reflect on the past 3 years. The Zartharans' dismissive prediction had become a rallying cry for the crew. 7 years, they had scoffed. Well, humanity was determined to prove them wrong. In the engineering bay, Chief Engineer Marcus Wong was putting the finishing touches on his latest invention. As Chen entered, he looked up with excitement shining in his eyes. "Captain, I think we've cracked it," Wong exclaimed, holding up a small device. "This neural interface should allow us to operate the ship's systems more efficiently, reducing the strain of long-term space travel on our bodies." Chen examined the device, impressed by its sleek design. "Outstanding work, Marcus. How soon can we implement it?" "We can begin testing immediately. If all goes well, we could have the entire crew integrated within a month." As Chen left the engineering bay, her comm badge chirped. "Captain to the bridge," came Lieutenant Patel's voice, tinged with urgency. Upon arriving at the bridge, Chen found the crew gathered around the main view screen. A holographic display showed a distant star system, with one planet highlighted. "What am I looking at, people?" Chen asked, studying the image. Science Officer Dr. Yuki Tanaka stepped forward. "Captain, we've detected a potentially habitable planet. Preliminary scans show an atmosphere similar to Earth's, with liquid water and vegetation." Chen's heart raced with excitement. A habitable planet could change everything for humanity's future in space. How far? About 6 months at our current speed, Paddle replied. But there's something else, Captain. He manipulated the controls, and the image zoomed out to reveal several other ships converging on the system. We're not the only ones who've noticed it. Chen's eyes narrowed as she recognized the distinctive design of the approaching vessels. Zartharans, she muttered. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. They were about to enter a race for a new world, against an adversary that had dismissed their very ability to survive in space. All right, people, Chen said, her voice filled with determination. This is our chance to prove ourselves, not just to the Zartharans, but to all of humanity back home. We're going to reach that planet first, and we're going to show the galaxy what humans are truly capable of. The crew cheered, energized by their captain's words. As they set to work preparing for the journey ahead, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. The next few months would be crucial, not just for their mission, but for the future of humanity among the stars. As the horizon accelerated towards its destination, the ship's AI constantly monitored the approaching Zartharan vessels. The aliens had a significant head start, but humanity's ingenuity was not to be underestimated. In the weeks that followed, every member of the crew pushed themselves to their limits. Engineers worked around the clock to squeeze every bit of speed out of the engines. Scientists developed new techniques for long-range scanning and analysis. Even the ship's AI received constant upgrades, its quantum processors humming with increased activity. One morning, as Chen reviewed the latest progress reports in her quarters, she received an unexpected visitor. Dr. Elena Volkov, the ship's chief medical officer and psychologist, entered with a concerned expression. "Captain, we need to talk about the crew's mental state," Volkov said, taking a seat across from Chen. Chen set down her tablet, giving the doctor her full attention. "What's the situation, Elena?" "The prolonged isolation and the pressure of our mission are taking their toll. I'm seeing increased signs of stress, anxiety, and in some cases, symptoms of depression." Chen frowned. The Zartharan's prediction about human fragility in space echoed in her mind. "What do you recommend?" Volkov leaned forward, her eyes bright with an idea. "I've been working with Marcus on an application of his neural interface technology. We believe we can use it to create a shared virtual environment, a space where the crew can relax, socialize, and feel connected to home." The concept intrigued Chen. A virtual Earth. Exactly, Volkov nodded. It would provide a much-needed psychological anchor, helping to counteract the effects of long-term space travel. Chen considered the proposal for a moment before nodding. "Make it happen, Doctor. We need every edge we can get." As the weeks turned into months, the race towards the habitable planet intensified. The Horizon's crew worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of human endurance and ingenuity. The virtual Earth program, dubbed Terra Nova, proved to be a resounding success, boosting morale and productivity across the ship. Then, 5 months into their journey, an opportunity presented itself. The ship's enhanced sensors detected a spatial anomaly, a phenomenon that could potentially be used as a shortcut. "It's risky, Captain," Patil warned during the senior staff meeting. "We've never attempted to navigate something like this before." Chen looked around the table, meeting the eyes of each of her officers. "What's the alternative? If we stay our current course, the Zartharans will beat us there by weeks, maybe months." After a moment of tense silence, Wang spoke up. "I think we can do it, Captain. If we reconfigure the shield harmonics and make some adjustments to the warp field, we should be able to ride the anomaly safely." Chen nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. This is exactly the kind of adaptive thinking that sets humanity apart. We'll take the risk, make the necessary preparations. As the Horizon approached the spatial anomaly, tension on the bridge was palpable. Chen gripped the arms of her chair, watching as the swirling vortex of energy grew larger on the view screen. "All hands, brace for turbulence," she announced ship-wide. "Helm, take us in." The ship shuddered as it entered the anomaly, streams of energy washing over the hull. For several heart-stopping moments, it seemed as if the horizon might be torn apart. Then, with a final violent shake, they emerged on the other side. Status report. Chen called out, steadying herself in her chair. Minor damage to outer hull plating, but all systems operational, Wang reported, a note of triumph in his voice. "We did it, Captain." As the crew cheered, Patel's voice cut through the celebration. "Captain, you're going to want to see this." The view screen shifted, revealing a breathtaking sight. A blue-green planet hung in space before them, wisps of white clouds swirling in its atmosphere. It was an oasis of life in the cosmic desert, and the horizon had reached it first. Chen stood, her eyes fixed on the stunning view. "Send a message to Earth," she said, her voice filled with pride and emotion. Tell them humanity has found its new frontier." As the horizon moved into orbit around the planet, Chen couldn't help but think of the Zartharans and their dismissive prediction. Not only had humans survived beyond the 7-year mark, but they had also outpaced and outmaneuvered a supposedly superior species. The real challenge, however, was just beginning. Establishing a foothold on this new world would test humanity's resolve like never before. But as Chen looked around at her determined crew, she knew one thing for certain. They were ready for whatever the universe might throw at them. The battle for New Earth. The lush alien landscape of the newly discovered planet stretched out before Captain Sarah Chen as she stepped out of the landing shuttle. The air was thick with unfamiliar scents, and a chorus of alien wildlife echoed in the distance. Chen took a deep breath, savoring the moment. After years in the sterile environment of the horizon, standing on solid ground felt almost surreal. "It's beautiful," Dr. Rodriguez whispered beside her, already kneeling to examine the vibrant purple vegetation at their feet. Chen nodded in agreement, but her moment of peace was short-lived. Lieutenant Patel's voice crackled over her comm badge. "Captain, we've got company. Zartharan ships have entered the system." Chen's expression hardened. "Understood. Prepare the defense systems we brought down. I'm on my way back." As Chen rushed back to the makeshift command center, she couldn't help but marvel at how quickly her crew had adapted to their new environment. In just a few short weeks, they had established a functional base of operations, complete with rudimentary defenses and the beginnings of a sustainable colony. Inside the command center, a holographic display showed the approaching Zartharan fleet. It was larger than Chen had anticipated, a clear sign that the aliens were not about to give up this prize without a fight. "Options?" Chen asked, looking around at her senior staff. Chief Engineer Wang stepped forward. "We've been working on something, Captain. Remember those spatial anomalies we used as a shortcut? We think we can artificially generate similar phenomena using modified shield emitters." Chen raised an eyebrow. "And how exactly does that help us?" "If we can create these anomalies around the Zartharan ships," Wang explained, his eyes gleaming with excitement, "we could potentially disrupt their systems, maybe even force them off course." It was a risky plan, but Chen knew they were outnumbered and outgunned. They needed every advantage they could get. "Do it," she ordered, "and get me a channel to the Zartharan fleet." Moments later, the familiar clicks and whistles of the Zartharan language filled the command center, quickly translated by their eye. "This is High Commander Zixkar," the alien voice announced. "Humans, you have encroached upon territory claimed by the Zartharan Imperium. Withdraw immediately or face annihilation." Chen took a deep breath before responding. "High Commander, this is Captain Sarah Chen. We arrived here first and have already begun colonization efforts. We have no wish for conflict, but we will defend our claim if necessary." There was a pause before Zixkar replied, its tone dripping with disdain. "You surprise us, humans. We did not expect your fragile species to survive this long in deep space. Nevertheless, your presence here is unacceptable. Prepare to be removed." The communication cut off abruptly, and Chen turned to her crew. "All right, people, this is it. Let's show them what humanity is really capable of. As the Zartheran ships entered orbit, Wang's team activated their makeshift anomaly generators. The effects were immediate and spectacular. Swirling vortexes of energy appeared around several Zartheran vessels, causing them to veer off course and collide with each other. The element of surprise gave the humans a momentary advantage, but the Zartherans quickly regrouped. Plasma bolts rained down from orbit, striking the hastily erected shield dome, protecting the human settlement. Shields at 60% and falling. Paddle reported, his fingers dancing across his console. We can't take much more of this. Chen gritted her teeth, watching as their defenses slowly crumbled under the relentless assault. Just when it seemed all hope was lost, an alert sounded from the long-range sensors. "Captain," Patil exclaimed, "we're detecting new ships entering the system, but they're not Zartheran." Before Chen could respond, a new voice came over the comm system. The language was entirely alien, nothing like the Zartheran clicks and whistles. But once again, their AI quickly provided a translation. "Attention, warring species. This is Arbiter Exile of the Galactic Concord. Cease hostilities immediately or face intervention." Chen and her crew exchanged bewildered looks. The Galactic Concord. It seemed the galaxy was a busier place than they had realized. Taking advantage of the momentary ceasefire, Chen opened a channel to both the Zartherans and the newcomers. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of Earth. We welcome the opportunity for peaceful dialogue." What followed was a tense series of negotiations. The Arbiter Exile, a being of shimmering energy barely contained within a humanoid form, acted as a mediator between the humans and Zartherans. Chen argued passionately for humanity's right to colonize the planet, emphasizing their peaceful intentions and the effort they had already invested. To her surprise, she found an unlikely ally in Arbiter Exile, who seemed fascinated by humanity's rapid adaptation to deep space travel. "You have overcome great odds to reach this point," Exile observed, its voice a melodious hum. "Perhaps there is more to your species than meets the eye." The negotiations stretched on for days, with tempers flaring and compromises grudgingly made. In the end, a fragile agreement was reached. The humans would be allowed to maintain their colony, but the planet would be placed under the protection of the Galactic Concord, open to scientific study by all species. As the Zartheran fleet reluctantly withdrew, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of triumph. Against all odds, humanity had not only survived in deep space, but had also secured its first extraterrestrial colony. Arbiter Exile approached Chen as the negotiations concluded. "Your species intrigues us, Captain Chen. We look forward to observing your progress." Chen smiled, sensing an opportunity. "Perhaps we could offer more than just observation. Humanity would be honored to join the Galactic Concord as active members." Exile's energy form shimmered, a gesture Chen interpreted as thoughtful consideration. That would be unprecedented for such a young species, but perhaps it is time for new perspectives in the Concord. "We shall consider your proposal." As Exile departed, Chen turned to look out over the alien landscape that would now be humanity's second home. The path ahead was uncertain, filled with challenges and potential conflicts, but Chen felt a surge of pride and determination. Humanity had taken its first true steps into the galactic community. They had faced their doubters, overcome seemingly insurmountable odds, and emerged victorious. Whatever the future held, Chen knew one thing for certain: humanity was here to stay, ready to claim its place among the stars. The battle for New Earth was over, but humanity's greatest adventures were just beginning. Diplomatic turmoil and espionage. The gleaming spires of New Earth's capital city, Novaterra, stretched towards the alien sky, a testament to humanity's rapid progress. In the 5 years since their arrival, the human colony had flourished beyond all expectations. Captain Sarah Chen, now Governor Chen, stood at the window of her office, watching as ships from various alien species docked at the newly constructed spaceport. A chime at her door interrupted her contemplation. "Come in," she called, turning to greet her visitor. Dr. Amelia Rodriguez entered, her face etched with concern. "Governor, we have a situation. Our deep space monitoring stations have detected a large Zartheran fleet mobilizing near their home system." Chen's brow furrowed. Despite the uneasy peace brokered by the Galactic Concord, tensions with the Zartherans remained high. "Any idea what they're up to?" Before Rodriguez could answer, Chen's comm badge chirped. "Governor, urgent message from Earth," her assistant's voice announced. Chen activated her holographic display, and the image of Admiral James Harper, head of Earth's Space Command, flickered into view. His expression was grim. "Sarah, we've got a problem," Harper began without preamble. "We've uncovered evidence of a conspiracy within our own government. It seems some factions are pushing for aggressive expansion, even at the cost of peace with other species." Chen felt a chill run down her spine. "What are you saying, James?" "I'm saying that the Zartheran fleet mobilization might not be unprovoked. There are rumors of covert human operations in their territory, possibly even attempts at sabotage." The implications were staggering. If true, this could shatter the fragile peace humanity had worked so hard to build. "What do you need from me?" Chen asked, her mind already racing with potential scenarios. "We need you to use your position in the Galactic Concord to buy us time," Harper replied. "Stall any potential conflict while we root out the conspirators back home. And Sarah, be careful. We don't know how deep this goes." As the transmission ended, Chen turned to Rodriguez, who had been listening silently. "Looks like we've got our work cut out for us, Doctor. Assemble the senior staff. We need to prepare for every possibility." Over the next few weeks, New Earth became a hotbed of diplomatic activity and covert operations. Chen worked tirelessly, leveraging her relationships within the Galactic Concord to prevent an all-out war. Meanwhile, she dispatched her most trusted operatives to gather intelligence, both on the Zartherans and within the human ranks. One evening, as Chen was reviewing the latest reports in her office, her security chief, Major Lisa Quan, burst in. "Governor, we've apprehended a spy." Chen's head snapped up. "Zartheran." Quan shook her head, her expression troubled. "Human, ma'am. One of our own colonists. He was caught trying to transmit classified data off-world." The news hit Chen like a physical blow. The conspiracy had reached New Earth itself. "Interrogate him," she ordered. "Find out who he's working for and what they know." As the days passed, a complex web of deceit began to unravel. The human spy was just one piece of a larger puzzle. It seemed that a shadowy organization, calling itself Terra Prime, had infiltrated multiple levels of Earth's government and military. Their goal was nothing less than human dominance of the galaxy, regardless of the cost. Chen found herself walking the diplomatic tightrope. On one side, she had to reassure the Galactic Concord and the Zartherans of humanity's peaceful intentions. On the other, she had to root out the Terra Prime operatives within her own colony without tipping them off. The situation came to a head when Chen received an encrypted message from an unexpected source. High Commander Zixkar of the Zartherans. "Governor Chen," the message read, "we have intercepted communications that suggest elements within your species plan to attack us using a biological weapon. If this is true, it will mean total war. If it is not, we must combine our efforts to uncover the truth. The future of both our peoples hangs in the balance." Chen stared at the message, her mind reeling. A biological weapon. That went beyond even the worst-case scenarios she had imagined. She knew she had to act fast. In a daring move, Chen proposed a secret meeting between herself, Zixkar, and Arbiter Exile of the Galactic Concord. The rendezvous point was set, a neutral space station at the edge of the system. As Chen's shuttle approached the station, she couldn't help but feel the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. The fate of not just New Earth, but possibly all of humanity, rested on the outcome of this meeting. Inside the station, Chen came face to face with Zixkar for the first time since their initial hostile encounter years ago. The Zartharan leader's compound eyes studied her intently. Governor Chen. Zix's car clicked. It seems we find ourselves in an unexpected alliance. Chen nodded grimly. Indeed, High Commander. It appears we have a common enemy. Arbiter Exile's energy form shimmered between them. This situation is most disturbing. If these allegations are true, it could destabilize the entire sector. For hours, the three leaders shared intelligence, compared notes, and formulated a plan. It was agreed that a joint task force would be formed, combining human, Zartharan, and Concord resources to investigate and neutralize the Terra Prime threat. As the meeting concluded, Zixcar turned to Chen. I must admit, Governor, your species continues to surprise us. We had dismissed you as fragile and short-sighted. Yet here you stand, willing to confront the darkness within your own kind for the greater good. Chen allowed herself a small smile. We're full of surprises, High Commander. It's what keeps us going. As Chen's shuttle returned to New Earth, she felt a mix of determination and apprehension. The road ahead would be fraught with danger and difficult choices. But as she gazed out at the stars, Chen knew that this crisis presented an opportunity. A chance not just to save humanity from itself, but to forge stronger bonds with their galactic neighbors. The battle against Terra Prime would test humanity's resolve, ingenuity, and moral fiber. But Chen was confident that they would rise to the challenge. After all, proving the doubters wrong was what humans did best. Triumph of the human spirit. The following months were a whirlwind of covert operations, tense negotiations, and nail-biting close calls. The Joint Task Force, led by Governor Sarah Chen, High Commander Zixcar, and Arbiter Exile, worked tirelessly to unravel the complex web of Terra Prime's operations. As they delved deeper, the true scale of the conspiracy became apparent. Terra Prime had not only infiltrated Earth's government and military, but had also established hidden bases throughout human-controlled space. Their ultimate goal was chilling: to unleash a genetically engineered pathogen that would be deadly to most alien species, but harmless to humans, paving the way for uncontested human expansion. Chen stood in the war room of New Earth's defense headquarters, surrounded by a diverse group of human and alien operatives. Holographic displays showed the locations of known Terra Prime facilities. We've identified their main research station, Chen announced, highlighting a point in deep space. According to our intelligence, this is where they're developing the bioweapon. We need to strike fast and hard before they can deploy it. Zixcar clicked his mandibles in agreement. Our ships stand ready, Governor, but the station's defenses are formidable. A frontal assault would be costly. Arbiter Exile's energy form pulsed thoughtfully. Perhaps a more unconventional approach is needed. Chen smiled, a plan already forming in her mind. I think it's time we show Terra Prime and the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. The plan was audacious, combining human ingenuity, Zartharan technology, and galactic Concord diplomatic channels. While a joint fleet engaged Terra Prime's outer defenses, a small elite team would infiltrate the station using experimental phase shift technology developed by Engineer Wang. Chen insisted on leading the infiltration team herself, despite objections from her staff. This is our mess, she argued. It's up to us to clean it up. As the operation commenced, Chen found herself creeping through the dimly lit corridors of the Terra Prime station, flanked by Major Quan and a Zartharan Special Forces operative. The phase shift technology had gotten them inside, but now they faced the daunting task of locating and neutralizing the bioweapon. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Their presence had been detected. So much for the element of surprise, Quan muttered, readying her weapon. They fought their way through waves of Terra Prime zealots, the station becoming a battleground of flashing energy weapons and explosions. Chen's team pushed forward relentlessly, their diverse skills complementing each other in the heat of combat. Finally, they reached the central laboratory. Inside, they found Dr. Elena Volkov, Chen's former chief medical officer, working frantically at a console. "Alina," Chen gasped, shocked to see her old friend among the conspirators. "Why?" Volkov turned, her eyes wild with a mixture of fear and determination. "Don't you see, Sarah? This is for the good of humanity. We can't afford to be held back by alien restrictions. This is our destiny." Chen shook her head sadly. "No, Alina. This isn't who we are. Humanity's strength lies in our ability to adapt, to cooperate, to see the best in ourselves and others. What you're doing here, it's a perversion of everything we stand for." As Chen spoke, she could see doubt creeping into Volkov's eyes. Taking advantage of the moment, Quan swiftly disarmed and restrained the doctor. With Volkov subdued, the team quickly went to work. The Zartheran operative used his advanced knowledge to help Chen safely neutralize the bioweapon, while Quan secured the station's data cores, ensuring that the research couldn't be replicated. As they made their escape, the station rocking from the ongoing battle outside, Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of bittersweet triumph. They had prevented a catastrophe, but the cost had been high. Days later, as the dust settled, Chen found herself once again in a meeting with Zixkar and Arbiter Exile, this time aboard the Galactic Concord's flagship. "The threat of Terra Prime has been neutralized," Exile announced, its energy form glowing with approval. "Your actions have not only saved countless lives, but have also demonstrated the true potential of interspecies cooperation." Zixkar's compound eyes focused on Chen. "We owe you an apology, Governor Chen. We had dismissed your species as fragile and incapable of surviving long-term in space. We were wrong. Humans have proven to be remarkably resilient and adaptable." Chen nodded graciously. "Thank you, High Commander. But we've all learned valuable lessons from this experience. No species can afford to stand alone in this vast universe." Arbiter Exile shimmered in agreement. "Indeed. Which brings us to our next point. In light of recent events, the Galactic Concord has decided to extend an offer of full membership to humanity." Chen's eyes widened in surprise. Full membership in the Galactic Concord was an honor typically reserved for species with centuries of interstellar experience. We would be honored," she managed to say, her voice thick with emotion. As the meeting concluded, Chen stood at the viewport, gazing out at the star-filled expanse. In just a few short years, humanity had gone from taking its first tentative steps into deep space to becoming a respected member of the galactic community. The road ahead would not be easy. There were still wounds to heal, both within humanity and in their relationships with other species. But Chen felt a surge of optimism. They had faced their greatest challenge and emerged stronger for it. As if reading her thoughts, Zixkar approached, standing beside her at the viewport. "Your people have a saying, do they not? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." Chen chuckled. "Something like that, yes. It seems an apt description of humanity," Zixkar mused. "We look forward to seeing what you will accomplish in the centuries to come." As Chen gazed out at the stars, she couldn't help but smile. Those researchers who had scoffed at humanity's chances of survival in space had been proven spectacularly wrong. Humans hadn't just survived. They had thrived, overcoming every obstacle thrown their way. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and humanity was just getting started. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Chen knew one thing for certain: they would face them together, with the indomitable spirit that had carried them this far. The stars beckoned, and humanity was ready to answer the call.